Hi everyone, it's Ardith, and today is release day at Catherine Pooler Designs. I'm so excited that Catherine asked me to guest for this retro winter release that's full of amazing goodies, just in time for the holidays. And there's 4 new ink colors that complete the Urban Oasis collection, so be sure to check those out. I'm using the Chillin Snowflakes set, and I knew I wanted something else in my background, so I googled retro Christmas, and I kept seeing these triangle trees. I love geometric designs like this. They're simple and clean, but still lots of fun. I started with a white panel cut with a scalloped rectangle die from Tags, etc. I created all my trees with simple masking, using strips of Post-it tape. This isn't difficult, but it is important to make sure that your lines are straight. If you get it wrong, your eye will know that something is wonky. For my first tree, I put the tape straight down the center of the panel. I used the scallops to help me measure. Then I put another piece of tape to the left on an angle to leave a triangle exposed for ink blending. This will form half of my first tree. I used Hot Tub and Pink Champagne on this card. These colors felt very retro to me, and they'll work perfectly with the embossing powder I chose. Once I had the first half blended, I moved the tape to create the other half of the tree. I used the clean edge of the tape because these colors might get muddy if they get mixed up together. I'm using sponge daubers here because the areas I'm blending are pretty small, but you can use whatever brushes or blenders you have. Just make sure that you cover the areas on your panel that you don't want ink on. Now I'm speeding this up because I'm doing the same thing a couple of more times to finish off my trees. I placed the tape at different angles so that the heights of the 3 trees would be different, and I continued to use the scallops on the bottom to measure each tree so that both sides were equal. Another thing, and you can see this clearly since 2 of the trees are showing. The inks started out blotchy, but they smoothed out as they dried. The center one is already much smoother looking. When the trees were finished, I let the panel really dry because I'm planning to emboss the snowflakes over top. But just to be sure, I'm going to run a little test. I used an anti-static pouch over the whole panel, and then I just dumped my Wow Metallic Platinum Sparkle powder over it. No stamping, I just want to be sure that the powder isn't sticking anywhere, and that way I'll know that the panel is completely dry. I already have the snowflakes set up on my mini MISTI, so they'll cover most of the panel. Notice that I have the biggest one in the top center, kind of like the star on the tallest tree. I stamped them with Wow Embossing ink, which is a sticky, slow-drying ink that the powder will stick to. I stamped it twice just to be sure that I had it really sticky, and then I poured the powder over top. You can see it's only sticking where the snowflakes were stamped this time. I put the panel into this little shoebox lid that I've lined with aluminum foil. I've used this homemade tool for years. I feel like the foil reflects back the heat of the heat gun and reduces warping, and also it means that I'm not holding on to my project and risking burnt fingers. And I give my heat gun a while to really heat up as well. This is another thing that you can do to reduce warping. And check out that sparkle. But we're not done yet. I'm going to show you the simplest trick ever, but it blew my mind when I saw Jenny C do it. I'm going to stamp the panel again and put more embossing powder over the top. This adds more dimension to the snowflakes and it really makes them stand out. Facepalm moment, right? I never thought about doing this, but it's so easy and the effect is so worth it. To finish the card, I stamped a sentiment from last year's holiday mix stamp set in Twilight ink, and then I added some of the new Cincinnati sequins to each snowflake, as well as some extras around the front. I blended some Hot Tub ink onto the bottom of my white card base to help the popped-up scalloped panel stand out a bit more. All the new retro winter products are now available in the store, so be sure to check them all out. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up below and subscribe to this channel for more inspiration. Product links are below in the description and also on my blog. Thanks so much for watching. See you next time.